Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tamika and today I'll be sharing everything that I made or failed to make, as the case may be, in July. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful week and thanks for joining me. Today I will be sharing with you everything that I made in July. As I said at the start, I did have a few fails. So I'm calling July my month of fails, really. I've got one completed project and then 3 or 4 other unfinished or just total fails. Actually, they're all just unfinished. Let's go with that. I haven't had to completely discard anything. So before I shuffle over to show you more about those, don't forget to subscribe down below. You can turn on the bell notifications to know when I post. And like the video while you're down there. It helps other people to find me and lets me know that you're enjoying my content. So I'm going to shuffle over so that I can pop in pictures and things and let's get into it. I thought we'd start with the one that I actually finished this month, and that is actually a project on a friend's request. So I made for them a scrubs top. My friend wanted this as a birthday gift for their partner, who is a massive Disney Mickey Mouse fan. So what we ended up going with is doing a half and half, so Mickey Mouse sort of print on the top with a plain black on the bottom. I used the free McCall's pattern that they've got on their website. It's M8172. I hacked this pattern to pieces. So originally the pattern is just a single panel with a, it's got like a collar band attached and is a full wrap across. I hacked it so that it could have 2 tones. The bottom part doesn't wrap at all, and then the top is just a crossover, so I guess kind of a faux wrap in some ways. I removed that collar, I'm calling it a collar, I don't know if that's what I should be calling it, the collar band, to replace it with a bias bound edge. I also added 2 patch pockets to the bottom of it, where the original pattern just had the one, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I actually spent a lot of time on the finishings on this one. Occasionally I will feel like I just need to rush through a project and we'll just do the quickest, easiest option on seam finishings and all of that sort of stuff, but I actually really enjoyed taking my time a little bit with this one and have continued to do that with following projects. So yeah, I Frenched all the seams as much as I could. I did just overlock the shoulder sleeves, the shoulder seams. I also spent the time changing out the thread colors to match whatever color I was sewing on. So I was using a white thread for anywhere that the print was, black wherever the black fabric was, and I switched out for red for the bias binding. So it did mean that I would occasionally have 2 different colors as my needle thread and bobbin thread, and yeah, I actually really enjoyed that whole part of it as well. Overall, I really enjoyed this make. I had very few errors along the way, which was fantastic, and yeah, the recipient was very happy with it. Next up, I have a progress update for you. So this pattern here, you will have seen in my plans for the month, and it is a gorgeous little sailor dress. And thank you for the push on making that one in the month, because like I said, I have no other excuses to make it other than to follow along with the hashtag for Sew Sailor Style. And so yeah, I got started on it. I didn't get it finished in the end of the month. I actually only started it right at the end. So I have been sewing it through the start of August. I am almost finished. I just need to add in the zip and finish off the tie, so the tie around the neck. And then it should be pretty much done, I think. I've done all of the hemming and all of that. That was a lot of work. There's a lot of skirt there. Again, another one I've really enjoyed making. I played around with a few different seam finishes on this one too. So different parts of it will have French seams. I've got some kind of mock flat felled seams, except they're not really because it goes on the shoulders there. I've pressed the seam open and then tucked the seam allowance under itself and top stitched that in place. So I don't know what sort of seam that's called. It's got the bias facing for the sleeves and the neckband, and how cute is the collar. I love it so much. The soutache braid was both easy and difficult to work with. I pre-washed it, which I don't know that I should have done because it was beautiful when I bought it, and then after I'd washed it, it kind of just wasn't quite the same, and you can't really get it back to the same way that it was. So it had kind of wrinkled up and all sorts of weird things, but I straightened it out as much as I could. Overall, I'm really happy with how this one is coming along. The fabric is maybe a little bit sheerer than I had hoped it would be, but it is just a rayon fabric. It's a rayon twill, so a little bit more body than a rayon, but not much, to be honest. I have at the moment just a really lightweight petticoat that doesn't really do what I want it to do. So I may need to borrow a friend's petticoat or maybe invest in one of my own, just to give this skirt a nice, really full, fluffy, floaty look to it, because at the moment the fabric just kind of drags a little bit. While we are on the vintage dresses, I did also finally get to start on my 1940s dress. So that is this one here. I've been making this view here with the long sleeves, and I had asked for opinions with pattern matching. I ended up going with the matching option, but I'm kind of regretting it. So I did start sewing this one up. The way that I matched it, the sleeves come in two parts. So there's a front sleeve piece and a back sleeve panel. So the front I matched through the shoulder seam there in the square shape that it's got, and then I tried to match the stripes coming across the shoulder. The way that that ended up working out, I ended up having the front being matched and the back was offset almost perfectly. So I was able to see what both of the options looked like. And I have to say, I think I prefer the back, which is a bit of a shame because I don't have any more of this fabric. I still need to go through my scraps and see what sort of scraps I've got in there to see if I can kind of piece something together, whether that be a new panel to slot in the top and just kind of move that whole front panel down, or whether I can do something even just at the seam line to kind of create a bit of difference between the two panels. I don't know. I did reach out to some other local sewists to see if they had any of the fabric, and I haven't been able to get any more of it, unfortunately. So I can't just cut out some new sleeves. So yeah, I'm still kind of working out where I go with that one. I definitely want to try and make something work. If I've just not got enough fabric, then I've not got enough fabric. But yeah, I need to check that out all out before I go any further. I also had a fail on a skirt pattern. So that was this pattern here. It's a Vogue 80s pattern. I think it's the 80s. Yeah. 1987. Vogue 9946. I honestly just cut the wrong size. I don't know what I was thinking when I was cutting this one out, but it is just too small for me. I think I can fix this just by letting, it's got 8 darts around it, so I can definitely just let a little bit out of each of those darts to increase the size a little bit. The only thing is that I've already top stitched all of those darts, and it's just going to be a bit annoying to unpick it all. But I do plan on doing that at some point. I will need to recut the waistband as well. It's just, yeah, like not even close to being able to do up. It kind of like just overlaps, but there's not enough room for a button or anything like that. So I have some alterations to make on that one. I don't know how long I'm gonna finish it yet either. So I did cut this out at the shorter view, which really isn't that short considering, but I may end up taking it right up to the knee. I'll see how I feel once I've got that waistband on and can actually play around with the length on it. I will also need to make a button selection for this one. At the moment, the plain black isn't really doing much for me, which I think is another reason why I've just kind of popped that one aside as well. So I think once it's got some cute buttons on it, then I will like it a lot more. Button options, I'm thinking either a wooden button or a mother of pearl, but I do kind of like the mother of pearl flipped over, so it's not the like shiny, pretty white pearly side, but the kind of textured browns and creams and all the other colors that you get in there of the back of it. So I should be showing you some pictures here of the 3 different options. Let me know which ones you like most. I think in the videos, the mother of pearl doesn't really show up very well. It's just kind of catching all of the light and it just looks white. But it is a mother of pearl. And obviously the back of the buttons will all be a little bit different too. So it won't just be a straight set of buttons. They will have a little bit of character of themselves. So yeah, let me know what you think about that one. It's got pockets. I think that's the main piece of information that you need to know about that. Yeah, I thought black would be a nice kind of staple in the wardrobe, and hopefully it will be when it actually fits me. The last fail was a shirred top, and this is as far as I've gotten with it because I don't know what I was doing with the sharing. It just was not working out, and I could not for the life of me work out why. Eventually I did, and to be honest, I may have been threading my sewing machine incorrectly for the last 5 years, so there's that. I think it was actually just that the elastic thread was much thicker than any of the threads that I've used previously, and it just kind of slipped out of the bobbin tension, like when you're threading it. So I just had to really make sure that it actually hooked where it needed to hook, so that it could put that tension on it. Otherwise, you just end up with little like wiggly lines at the back, and I knew that wasn't gonna work. So I tried a few rows and unpicked them all because it was just a total fail. Again, I do plan on getting back to that one now that I actually know how to share. I had been planning on doing a video on it, but I know there's like hundreds of sharing videos on the internet. So let me know if that is something that you would still be interested in, or if you're done with all of the sharing and don't want to see another minute of it. There we go. That is all of my fails for the month. As you can see, projects don't always go to plan, but there is often some way that you can fix it. Not every time, but in most of these cases, I should be able to save them and have a wearable piece at the end of it. I'm really happy with the projects that are going well, or that I did complete. So that's the main thing. I just need like one win a month and everything's okay. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye.